The President, please be seated. The court is now in session, and the chamber would like to give the floor to the defense counsel for case in point so that he can have an opportunity to put the question to the witness. Counsel, you may proceed. Counsel Kong Samon, thank you, Mr. President, Your Honors, and Mr. Witness Wan Suan. I have a question as regards your background. I would like to know that your parents, are they still alive? Because on your PV, D40/23 and E319.1.33, there were some discrepancies between your background and especially your parents. On the first document, you indicated that your parents are deceased, but on the second document, you said that your parents are still alive. Can you tell the truth to the court? Which one is correct? Answer: my parents died for 7 months ago, so they both died in the same months. The gap in time was only 1 week between the father and the mother. Question: did they die 2 weeks ago, or when did they die? Answer: they both died for seven months now. Counsel, thank you. But in the document, it appeared that it was prepared in 2007. You said that your father has died. But in another document, in another case, you indicated that your parents are still alive. Can you tell the court why it is like this? Answer: I think it was a mistake by the interviewer or the investigator. Counsel, thank you. Can you clarify the members of the soldier in your group who were the guards? Were any of them related to you by blood or in-laws? Answer: one of them related to me. Question: who was he? Answer: his name was Sang. Question: what is his relationship to you? Answer: he was my cousin, elder cousin. Question: do you know that Sang has given any interview or testimony to this court? Answer: no, I don't know about that. Question: can you tell the court his full name? Answer: he usually referred to or called Sang. Question: is he Sot Sang? Answer: yes. Question: I would like to read a document to you. Document E3/4346 ERN in Khmer 00 52 77 31. In French 00 94 32 68. In English 00 52 77 78. In this document, it is the statement of Soi San. He indicated that the guards were all cousins, and he also indicated that you two were siblings, including Sang. Did you know other relationship between other members of the guard group in your group? Answer: only me and Sang were cousins, and other people were not related as sibling or cousins. Counsel, thank you. Talking about the execution of the prisoners at Krang Thachan, earlier you indicated that sometime it happened once a month or once in 2 months. However, Soi San, in his testimony before the trial chamber here, document E3, E1/256.1. After 14:00:42 hours, Soi San said that, and I quote, sometimes there were 4, 5, or 10 times of execution, and the execution happened subsequently, but the types of execution and prisoner were the same. No prisoners. And as for the prisoner, the other side, I could see something. So his statement seemed to be very vague, difficult to understand. But he said that the execution happened 4 times a month, 5 times a month, sometimes 10 times a month, which is different from your testimony. Can you make any comment on his testimony? President, please wait, Mr. Witness. International Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Merci, Monsieur.
Thank you, Mr. President. I didn't hear the witness say before this chamber during this hearing that executions took place only 1 or 2 times a month. He perhaps told the investigating judges at a particular location and at a particular time, but the defense counsel doesn't cite any passage to that effect. That hasn't been said before this chamber. The witness said that whenever letters were delivered, there were executions. He shouldn't rely on a very vague recollection of what Soisen said. He should rely on a specific passage cited from the transcript of what Soisen said.
ឯកសារលេខ
Document E 319.1.32 at question and answer 81. It is your testimony given to the question, were the execution happen very oftenly? And you respond that sometimes it happened one time or two times a month. Can you recall this? If so, you can respond to my earlier question I put to you a moment ago. Answer. To my knowledge, I can say it happened one time a month or two times a month, and more than that I cannot say. I don't know. Counsel, thank you. Now I would like to move on to another point. As regards Tassan, on the 3rd of March 2015, you responded before the chamber in the afternoon session before 14.15 hours. It's somewhere about this hour. You said, and I quote, no, I'm not quite sure, but I met him in 1977. You met Tassan. This is the time that you met Tassan at the time. And the question, so when you met him in 1977, was he the district chief, or what was his role in that district? And your response was that, yes, when I met him, he was the Tram Kok district chief. End of quote. I would like you to tell the court now and my question is that, what was the circumstances that led you to meet with Tassan at the time? Answer. I met him when I visited my parents in Lebo commune, and I met him at cooperative of Kong Mui Unit 1 at Lebo commune. Counsel. Did you know his role and what did he do when you met him at Lebo Cooperative? Respond. I met him during the lunch time at the time. Question. I would like you to tell me, how did you know that Tassan was the district chief? Response. I heard from the villagers telling me that he was the new Tram Kok district chief. Question. Do you know any of those villagers by name, and who were they, their roles, who can indicate or who was indicating Tassan as the district chief? Respond, no, I cannot indicate because they were at the district and commune level. As I was a young boy, I could not know about that. Counsel, but my question for you is that who were the people who told you that Tassan was the new district chief? I would like to know the role and responsibility of those peoples to see why they know Tassan as district chief, as new district chief. Answer, I cannot identify any of those villagers because I heard from one person to another at the cooperative. Counsel, thank you. Do you have any official knowledge that Tassan was the district chief of Tramkok? Answer, I am clear that when Ta An arrived at Krang Tachan, he said that now Tassan became the district chief. Counsel, could you indicate again, please, who told you at Krang Tachan that Tassan became the district chief? Respond, it was Ta An who said that. Question, in which occasion that he indicated this to you? Respond, when he entered into the kitchen for meals, Ta An said that now the new district chief is Tassan. Counsel, I would like to ask you about the activities and work at Krang Tachan. Did you attend any meeting with An or any other people at Krang Tachan Security Center? I'm talking about official meeting. Respond, no, I didn't. Counsel, you said that you didn't attend a meeting. Are you talking the whole period when you were working there? Do you mean that there was no official meeting at Krang Tachan all the way from the beginning to the end when you work there? Or you didn't remember any meeting? So which of the two? Answer, since I started working at Krang Tachan, I never attended any meeting. Counsel, and how about other cadres who were party members? Did they hold or did they attend any official meetings? Answer, yes, there was Ping. Counsel, how often did you attend the meetings with Ping? Respond, yes, once every month. Counsel, can you tell the court the subject or the topic of each meeting you were attending?
Answer, the contents of the meeting was mainly about the guarding duty, about the working in the rice fields, about the plantation, about carrying mount earth and the earth from the bottom of the pond. Question, did you ever attend any meetings on the plans to execute the prisoners? Answer, no. Question. In the transcript document E1/250.1, dated 22nd February, January 2015, Mr. Misoka testified before this chamber at 12 o'clock at 12:0053 hours. At that time, he was asked by Counsel Antaguche and I quote, in relation to a meeting on the plan to execute 100 prisoners, and the meeting was attended by all staff, including guards and the party members. And my question to you is, do you recall there was such a meeting held in 1977? Answer. I was not allowed to attend that meeting because whenever the meeting to assign plans to be implemented, I would not be allowed to attend. Question. Can you tell the court that you were not allowed to attend and that you were asked to stay outside, and what was the main reasons, and what about the other guards? Were they allowed in? Answer. I cannot say about other guards. For myself, my main duty was to stand guard outside and to be a letter courier. Question. In Misoka's testimony, that is in the same documents that I quoted, and almost at that same time, Misoka responded, and I'd like to quote, as for the executioners, they were all there except Big Dutch and one or two staff working in the kitchen. Big Dutch went outside the district at the time. And then the person was asked again the question, what about Ping and Swan? Were they also present in the meeting? And the witness replies, yes, they were present. And they refer to you as Swan, that you were present in the meeting. How do you react to this statement by Misoka? Answer. I'd like to clarify that if Misoka makes this statement, and if that statement is true, we can go and ask the mother of Misoka, because at that time I was not allowed in and I stood guard outside and I was not involved in such a meeting to lay out the plans. Question. You said that you were always outside and with Misoka's mother. Can you tell, or can you provide a bit more details on that? Answer. We can go and ask Ms. Sukha's mother, because I was not involved with Ping or with any other guards there. My work was different from theirs. Question. Do you wish to make any further comments regarding the statements of Ms. Sukha that I just read out to you, that Ms. Sukha alleged that you attended that meeting? Answer. I'd like to state that Ms. Sukha was a child of Yenyo, and I was in the rooms at the outer gate alone, and Miss Sukha in fact slept in the room where I was too. Thank you. However, my question is related to the statement by Ms. Sukha that you attended the meeting, but you denied it. And I'd like to ask whether you have any further comment to make regarding this statement. That is on the point that that the witness alleged you attended the meeting. Answer. As I stated, once in a while I attended a meeting organized by Ping, but I never attended a meeting when they laid out the plans to execute the prisoners. Question. Can you tell the court if there is any reason for Ms. Sukha to tell this court that you attended the meeting where they laid out the plan to execute 100 prisoners? Answer. I cannot say anything because that is Ms. Sukha's statement, and Ms. Sukha was a prisoner there, and how could Ms. Sukha know about the execution of these so many 100 prisoners? Question. In relation to your document E319.1.33, which is your written record of interview, at question answer number 131, you were asked, did you ever hear the word enemy? And you said yes. And you said that the enemy referred to the opponents during the fighting with the Lunal soldiers. And when the Khmerus captured the Lunal soldiers, those soldiers were considered the enemy. And the next question is, as I quote, after 17 April 1975, did they still refer or talk about the enemy? And your response is as follows, no. Unquote. And my question to you, Mr. Witness, is this. What was the reason, or what was the basis for your statements that after 1975, they stopped talking about the enemy, or they stopped using the word the enemy? Answer. They said that the policy was that we were all Khmers, and we all had to reconcile amongst ourselves in order to build the country. That's all what he said. Question, and who said that? Answer, it was the An. Question, did you hear any other persons speaking about this? Answer, no. Question, under what circumstance did the An make that a statement? Answer, it was during a lunch time. Answer, was it a meeting amongst the staff there, or did he only converse with you one-on-one on this matter? Answer, Anne was talking to Ping, and I was on the same table, and I overheard it. Question, also in the same document, question answer 136. The question that was posed to you is the following, and I quote, what did you hear about the white scarf, and when did you hear it? And your response is, the white scarf refers to the Khmer crown. And the next question is, did the white scarves fight alongside Lunal soldiers against the Khmer Rouge, or were the Khmer Rouge and the white scarves fighting Lunal soldiers? And your response, 137, is they were aligned with the Lunal side to fight against the Khmer Rouge, to fight against the Khmer Rouge. End of quote. Can you tell the court about the white scarf group that you referred to as the Khmer Crown, and that they aligned with the Lunal sides to fight against the Khmer Rouge? How did they align with the Lunal side? Answer. At that time, that is during 71 or 72, I was rather young, and I have an elder cousin who was a soldier at the Cambodia Crown, and who was assigned to guard at Ochambok, to the north of the Kai province. He said that he joined the White Scarf group, and the White Scarf group referred to the Khmer Crown. And at that time, they were fighting against the Khmer Rouge soldiers, and that the White Scarves cooperated with the Lunal soldiers to fight against the Khmer Rouge. And that's how I learned about this. Question. Did you have any experience in the battlefield, that is, in the fights against the White Scarf group at the time? That is around 73 or 74, as you stated, says the counsel. Answer. When my cousin spoke about it, he referred to the period of 71 or 72 and not 73. Question. Did you know about the organizational structure of the White Scarf group, whom you refer to as the Khmer Crown? For example, who was their leader and what was their policies? Answer, no. Question. Did you know whether the White Scarf group existed and until when? Answer, no, I did not know. Question. Did you know anyone else who was a member of the White Scarf group or who is alive today? Answer. I know some, but he is dead. Some used to live near where I lived, and he used to be a soldier for the White Scarf group. Question. Did you meet and speak face to face with some about the mission of the White Scarf group or what their political tendencies were? Answer, no, I did not. Question. Why did you know that the White Scarf group aligned with the Lunol sides to fight against the Khmer Rouge? Answer. I only heard from him that at that time the Lunol side cooperated with the White Scarf group, and at that time the Vietnamese entered the territory of Cambodia. Question. Also, in the same document, at question answer 140, the question to you is the following, and I quote, at Kantachan Security Office, were there any prisoners who were former Lunol soldiers? And response, while I worked at Kantachan Security Center, there was none. End of quote. Why did you know that there were no Lunol soldiers at Kantachan office? What was the reason for you to make such a statement? Answer. I said that I did not know because I did not know where those prisoners had been arrested before they were brought to the center. Question. Can you please clarify this matter? Because in your statement that I just read out, you said that there was no former Lunol soldiers. So it implies that you knew about the prisoners there. Or do you wish to make changes to your previous statement? Answer. I did not know who those prisoners were. Question. Also, in the same document and in question answer 143, you were asked the following question, and I quote, as a soldier after the victory on 17 April 1975, did you ever receive any instructions with regards to your encounter with former Lunol soldiers? And your response is, no. They just had sent Lunol soldiers back to their hometowns. End of quote. Can you tell the court What was the reason for your statement, and who actually authorized to send Lone Nol soldiers back to their hometowns? Answer: I did not know the details. We simply knew that they were sent back to their respective families. That's what we were told. Question: You use the word to send them back to their hometowns. Does it mean to allow the former Lone Nol soldiers to go back to their native villages? Answer: Yes. Question: From whom did you hear the instructions to authorize Lone Nol soldiers to be sent back to their native villages? Answer: It's a word from one to another. That's how I heard it. Question: Can you probably clarify the source? From whom did you hear? And when was that? And under what circumstance? Answer: Amongst the soldiers at the Takai provincial town, those soldiers were sent back to their respective families. That's all I knew, and I did not know from which level the instructions came. Question: Did you hear about these instructions amongst your fellow Khmer Rouge soldiers or combatants? Answer: Yes. Question: Was it possible that your military commander relayed such instructions? Answer: Yes, we heard about it from one to another. Question: You mean from one fellow soldier to another fellow soldier? Answer: Yes, from one soldier to another. Question: I'd like now to return to document E3/4846, and in fact I used that document earlier to put questions to you in relation to your relationship with the Sang. And I'd like to put a few more questions in relation to this document. At EAN in Khmer 00527731, and in French at 00943268, and in English 00527778. And that is that document is the interview of Soy San, and he was interviewed by representative from the DC camp by the name of Superior. And I'd like to read an extract from this statement. Sang and Sun, are they biological brothers? And Sang replies, yes, they were biological brothers. Question. And were both of them killers? Answer. Yes. They were the most vicious killers. They were the direct perpetrators. Question. I beg your pardon. Allow me to unquote now. Allow you to react to this statement of Soy San when he said that Sang and Sun, or here the pronunciation is Swan, that refer to you, and that you and Sang and Sun were the biological brothers, and that both of them were the perpetrators and were the killers. What is your reaction to this statement? Answer. Personally, I never participate in any of this event or killing, and I denied it. Question. You means that you did not participate in the killing at all? Is that what you mean? Answer. Yes. Question. Did you participate in other activities, for example, on the transportation of the prisoners, or on the walking of the prisoners to the execution site, or on the torture of the prisoners? Answer. No, I did not. Counsel. Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have any further questions for this witness. President, thank you, Counsel. And before we adjourn this morning's hearing, this morning we received a request from Nuon Chia's defense for a closed session on the issue of a sexual assault against a female prisoner, and in order to protect the privacy of a relevant individual, the Chamber will hold a closed session to hear the testimony of this witness on this particular issue. And that is pursuant to Article 316 of the Code of Criminal Procedure of the Kingdom of Cambodia. And security personnel, you are instructed to please invite the audience to leave the podium. And also the Chamber would like to inform the concerned parties that for the afternoon session, we will also have an in-camera hearing. And for that reason, please, security personnel, you are advised not to bring any audience into the courtroom. And also, this information is for the public affairs section, and to take measures accordingly and appropriately. President. AB unit, you are instructed to disconnect the audio and visual communication to the podium outside, but leave the curtain drawn to facilitate the interpreters in the booth. And the civil parties who are present in the courtroom, you are reminded that you are allowed to remain in the courtroom during this closed session hearing, but you must not share the information you hear or see during this closed session